JCF warns against fake kidnapping. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is warning against the practice of fake kidnapping. Station Manager at the National Strategic Anti-Gang Division, Detective Inspector Paulette Winter Crossfield, explained that teen girls are staging kidnapping to spend a prolonged period with their male persons. You have teenagers who go out with their male friend for whatever reason, spend days, and then when they want to return home, they make contact, either them or they ask someone to make contact with family member to say that they're kidnapped and demanding money for a release, Detective Inspector Winter Crossfield stated. She was speaking on the Force for Good podcast recently, which is an initiative of the JCF aimed at shining light on issues affecting Jamaicans. Sub-Officer at the National Strategic Anti-Gang Division, Detective Sergeant Grace Fraser Lawrence, warned that fake kidnapping is classified as creating public mischief, and as such, the individual or persons can be charged. Of course, we're going to use the resources of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to try and bring you home safely. Sometimes you will see what is happening, however, we still have to make sure that the hostage, so-called hostage, is returned safely, and upon doing that and using our resources, yes, we prosecute where necessary, Detective Sergeant Fraser Lawrence stated. Meanwhile, Detective Inspector Winter Crossfield also warned of the trend of motorists operating motor vehicles pretending to be taxis. Then persons who are also unsuspecting, not knowing that it's not a taxi, enter the vehicle and then are held at gunpoint in the vehicle and taken to ATMs, forced to give their banking information for the criminals to withdraw money. I wouldn't say it's a prevalent one now, but it is on the rise. A few years ago, we had it where we consider it as prevalent, but realize it's coming back now, she stated. She also encouraged the public to take vehicles that are licensed to carry passengers. We also advise that you take photographs of the vehicle and the license plate, and if possible, take a photograph of the driver and send it to a trustee, relative, or friend, Detective Inspector Winston Crossfield stated. Chief Justice Bryan raises concern about clearance rate in circuit courts in Western parishes. Chief Justice has raised concern about the clearance rate in circuit courts in Western parishes. Speaking at the annual Assise Church service in Montego Bay, St. James, the Chief Justice said circuit courts in Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland have not recorded over 100% clearance rate in the past 2 years. This, he said, is below the target and leads to a backlog in cases. He said in St. James, there is a 53% chance of a case not commencing in the circuit court until the day schedule. He said this is also the reason it is difficult to find witnesses for cases. He said the issue requires further examination that will lead to changes in an effort to prevent further backlogs.
The distressing thing, however, I must tell you, is that when you look at the circuit courts in this part of the island, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland, where we are is that no court has a clearance rate of over 100% for the past 2 years. That translates inevitably into the build-up of a backlog. The clearance rate must be a minimum of 100% and above. If you are under that, then you will have a backlog over time, and that is where we are. So let us look at St. James, since we are in the parish of St. James. So in the year March 23 to April 2024, trial date certainty, that is to say, what is the likelihood of a case that is set down in the St. James Circuit Court for trial going on the day that it is set for trial? It's 47%. Or put another way, there's a 53% chance of the case not going on. So why are we surprised that we can't find witnesses? Who is going to come to an institution with a more than 50% chance that your day will be wasted and the money that you spent traveling to court will not be recovered because, the witness expense, you only get that when the case actually starts and you actually give evidence as the witness. So nobody's going to compensate you for the time that you spend coming, that is the money expended. Let us take account now of the money that you would have earned if you are self-employed had you not come to court. So it's a loss both ways. It's a loss of income, and you expend with a 53% chance of an adjournment.
British national's death triggers ATV probe. Investigations are continuing into the circumstances that led to a fatal all-terrain vehicle ATV accident in Cascade St. Mary a few weeks ago, which claimed the life of a male British tourist and left his wife hospitalized. The St. Mary Police and related agencies are coordinating a thorough inquiry to determine how the accident occurred, what factors contributed, and what steps will be taken to prevent a recurrence. According to an official report from the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF on August 21, the now deceased Anthony Hamilton visited the island with his family and was staying at a hotel in Negril, Westmoreland. 7 days later, on August 28, the family visited an attraction in Cascade where they booked and participated in an ATV activity. While operating the ATV with his wife, 61-year-old British national Sandra Hamilton, who was the pillion passenger, reported they lost control of the vehicle, which went over a precipice. They were both assisted to the St. Anne's Regional Hospital in St. Anne, where Mr. Hamilton would later succumb to his injuries. Mrs. Hamilton was admitted and was treated for her injuries. She has since been released and is back in the United Kingdom. However, at the heart of the investigation is a central question. Should an ATV have been in the public road in the first place? Jamaica's policies on ATVs states clearly that ATVs are prohibited from use on public roads. A 2014 ministry paper explicitly allowed importation of private property use only, and authorities have consistently warned that any use on public roads is illegal, subjecting the vehicles to seizure. Additionally, Jamaica's traffic regulations do not designate ATVs as street legal vehicles. The Road Traffic Regulations 2022 requires vehicles on public road to meet established safety and operating standards. ATVs have not met these requirements for street use. Of note also is that the police have issued strict warnings about ATVs participating in public events, including carnival parades and other road activities. When encountered on public roads, ATVs are subject to seizure and penalties under traffic laws. Superintendent in charge of the St. Mary Police Division, Anthony Wallace, when asked about possible cease and desist actions aimed at preventing unsafe ATVs practices, indicated that an active investigation is in progress and that officials do not wish to prejudice the case. Wallace told reporters via text message on Friday that a full report will be issued in due course following investigation, adding that JCF extended its condolences to the family and friends of the deceased. Meanwhile, some government regulatory bodies, state-run agencies, have been restrained about confirming whether cease and desist orders have been issued or what steps have been taken to ensure compliance. Chief among those are the Tourism Production Development Company TPDCO, which has indicated that it will issue a full statement soon, reinforcing the expectation of close scrutiny and potential regulatory actions. Contacted both Regional Manager Kenya Kedeling and Director of Visitors Safety Daryl White Wong, directed reporters to Marlene Stevenson Darley, Coordinator for Corporations Communication and Community Awareness of TPDCO. Stevenson Darley, however, advised TPDCO Executive Director Wade March was expected to make a statement shortly on the matter and send all relevant questions. Meanwhile, the police and investigative agencies are expected to continue to gather evidence, interview witnesses, and review the ATV operator licensing, itineraries, and safety protocols connected to Cascade and surrounding areas. Sources added that the regulators and industry stakeholders will also be examining the adequacy of current laws, license requirements, and enforcement mechanisms to deter illegal ATVs operation on public roads and to protect visitors and local residents alike. Licensed tour operators and tourism authorities are also urged to work together to reinforce safe practices, verify operators' credentials, and ensure clear communication to visitors about the laws governing ATV use in Jamaica. All residents and visitors should recognize that ATVs are not permitted on public roads in Jamaica. For those seeking off-road adventure, engage only with licensed operators and use designated trail or private property experiences where safety measures are in place. One key source shared with reporters. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.